Hare Krishna. Nigamakalpadror Kalidam Phalam Sugamagata Drava Samvidam Vipata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Mugurago Rasiga Babi Bhaguaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavade Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhagavati Naishti. Tat Sat. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Canto entitled The Creation of the Fourth Order, and we are in the chapter 4, sloka number 5. Tam Shariga Kandula Darpanambuja Sveta Tatara Vyajana Shrag Adibi Gitayanair Dundubish Shankavenubir Prasne Druma Aropya Vigatandityayaha. Synonym translation by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Tan, hair, sati, sharika, bedbird, kandula, ball, dharpana, mirror, ambuja, lotus flower, sweta, atapatra, white, umbrella, vyajana, chauri, shrak, garland, adibi, and others, Gita Ayanai, accompanied with music, Dundubi, drums, Shankha, conchs, Venubi with flutes, Vrisha Indrim on the bull, Aropya, placing, Vitankitaha, decorated, Yayu, they went. Translation: the disciples of Lord Shiva arranged for Sati to be seated on the back of bull and gave her the bird which was her pet. They bore the lotus flower, a mirror, and all the paraphernalia for her enjoyment, and covered her with great canopy. Following by the singing party with drums, conchs, and bugles, the entire procession was on pompous as a royal parade. We all know that where we are in, it's in the continuation of the conversation between Mother Sati and Lord Shiva. The entire episode goes like this. There are innumerable lessons we can take from this pastimes of Lord Shiva with Mother Sati. If you see, Lord Shiva is not a Jiva Tattva, whereas in the demigods, even from start from Brahma, or in this case Daksha or Swayambhava Manu, or all other living entities are in Jiva Tattva. So they all have a perfect beginning and perfect ending of this material body. But but Lord Shiva is not in that category. Is specifically named as a Shiva Tattva, which is neither Jiva Tattva nor Vishnu Tattva. It is the manifestation of Vishnu Tattva for a specific purpose of annihilation. So he is called Samhara Murti. Here, Lord who knows is a Trikala Darshini, so he knows that what is going to happen. In the previous connection, just before this pastime of the conversation between, or this sacrifice arena where Daksha has invited so many demigods, rishis, all living entities in other planetary systems, they are all moving, which from Kailash, Mount Kailash, Mother Sati is seeing all other going over sky towards this Daksha Pradapadi's sacrifice arena. And she wanted to go there as a parental affection. And also, one of the main purpose is to bridge the difference between Lord Shiva and the Daksha Prajapati. And also, she had many plans to see her fraternity and other relatives, parents, all that. But Lord Shiva warned her what is going to happen, because he is know that though she is, it's a natural that a girl wants to go to meet their parents, but he wants wonder what he know, because he know that what is going to happen, because of Shiva's wife, she's not going to get due respect, and 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 he is foreseeing that the very birthplace of Mother Sati is going to be the place of her end of her life also. Even after that all warning, she wanted to go there, and she tried to use all her weapons to get permission, but finally he did not agree. In our last class, my Ajit Prabhu was giving such a wonderful class, and in that Ajit Prabhu was saying that Lord Shiva is Ashutosh. Is Ashu means easily, and Tosh means Santosh. So he is being known as easily pleasable. So any person who prays to him, they will get their benediction very easily. So that's why people in material world are very fond of Lord Shiva to get their material desires to get fulfilled. But they don't know whether that benediction is going to be a benediction for the eternal purpose or for a prayers purpose. It is not going to be a Shreyas purpose. Even knowing that he used to give. But in this case, he is not at all giving to permission to Mother Sati, because Mother Sati is not a demon-like character. She is actually a demigod. So this is just to give a lesson to us that not only Lord Shiva is her husband, but also she is the guru of her spiritual masters. In that case, he has to do that due duty. That's why he was not allowing. But in this verse, it is says that she, after this all her conversation with Lord Shiva, she started moving towards her father's house. So the disciples of Lord Shiva, all of them started moving toward along with her, and she was seated in the uh, his bull, and all the paraphernalias which she used to have was taken along with her. The pet bird, the lotus flower, the mirror for her checking her beauty, and so many scents for the perfume, and any other, like a ball and other all enjoyment on the way to play. And these are all happening in the bulls, and it's a beautiful canopy was made so that the weather which is not going to affect her. And to please her, she was followed by the great singing party with the drums, concerts, and bugles, so that pleasing sound follows her. So this is the way she was going towards her father's house. We'll go to verse number 6. Abrahma, Abrahma, Gosajrida Yajna Vaishayam, Viprasijastum, Vibhutaischa Sarvashaga, Mriddhardaya Kanchana Darba, Charabir, Nistra Bandham, Yajanam, Samavishat. She then reached her father's house where sacrifice was being performed. and entered the arena where everyone was chanting the Vedic hymns. The great sages, Brahmanas, and demigods were all assembled there, and there were many sacrificial animals, as well as the pots made of clay, stones, gold, grass, and skin, which were all requisite for the sacrifice. Synonym translation purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Here, already she reached there, the sacrificial arena, and the general scene around is being explained in this ways. The sacrifice was arena is unperformed. She entered arena where everyone was chanting the Vedic hymns. So for this kind of sacrifices, Vedic hymns are very important. Vedic hymns is a wide range of it's not a specific mantra. For a specific purpose, we have to chant different mantras. And in different modes, different mantras are recited. And for different purpose, different. There are yajnas means it is in the age of Treta, that was the predominant way of attaining the spiritual realm, or for any purpose. Even some rain is not there, then immediately then sacrifice is not there. Then if it is a Atishaitya, if it's cold, or more heat, immediately yajna was performed. This is how it was going on. For each purpose, the Vedic hymns were different. And in a different mode of material nature, the Vedic hymns are different. So there were always confrontation between the Brahmanas and other. Even in the Brahmanas, in the different modes, they were chanting in a different. Even there were mantras just to glorify the even human bodies. The kings were glorified and they were getting benefit out of it. This is how the Vedic hymns were chanted. The great sages, Brahmanas, and demigods were assembled there, and there were many sacrificial animals. We'll come to that. There were many sacrificial animals also were there, as well as the pots made of clay, stone, gold, grass, and skin, which were all requisite for the sacrifice. The havis, the paraphernalias, and the sacrificial materials like a ghee or the fruits, and even the brahmanas, they all were very pure in their actions. They were doing it properly in that age. But in the Kali, these are all not required and not possible to perform. We all know that in the Satyuga or Krita Yuga, the Yuga Dharma to perfect their life were dhyana. And they were doing tapasya for thousands of years to get something. You have seen many exalted rishis, they were doing without drinking water or anything for so many thousands years for getting anything. And then they are pleased for whom the demigods, they worship and they get the benefit. But when the Treta Yuga came, as we discussed, it was all sacrifices. And in the sacrificial ceremony arenas, these brahmanas and all the paraphernalia used were so purified and so pure, whatever they desire, they would get. And when the age advances, the purity of all this got really contaminated. And in the age of Dwapara, even the sacrifice were not permitted or effective. So that the Paryajam, that means the temple worship was introduced and the Srimurti Vigraha Aradhana was introduced. And the Lord, when he was ending the pastime and he was leaving for his own abode Vaikunta, he told Uddhava to begin the temple worship. So after that, Srimurti Vigrahas were installed in temples and the temple worship were. So the people who were in seeking up their self-realization, they started coming there for many, many reasons. One is the prime reason is to get the glimpse of the Supreme Lord in the form of deity worship. And when they come to the temple, they get the association of great devotees who assembled there. And the third one, when they assemble, they get to hear the glories of the Supreme Lord. And when they live there, whatever they eat are the remnants of the Supreme Lord, and so on. So many benefits when they come to the temples. So the great, very huge temples and the temple are and all social activities also were roaming around the temple. In 17th century, in Bhaktivinoda Thakur writing in one of his books, all temples, even today, many temples, if you know, they feed the bhaktas free food or prasadam um, in great volumes. In Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of his book is writing, in those days, there are no hotels, restaurants, nothing. So in a village or in a town, there may be many people who were in need of food. So what they go, they will take bath in the temple pond and they will go to the temple. They are being fed sumptuously. And also who were traveling from village to village for spiritual or any material purpose, the business people, the mercantile people, they travel from one village to other village. They will come to this temples and they will have their food and they will go further. They will continue. They will in the temple there will be satram for them. It's satram means the place to where they can take rest and proceed their journey. These are all free arrangement by the temple management. There are a lot of food available everyone. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, slowly when the non-Sanatanis enter there, slowly the culture being contaminated. But the time he was saying that, not even he is calling about the hotel, restaurant, fast food and all that. He was saying that motels are introduced. Motels means what? What is the difference between hotel and a motel? Motels generally were there on the highway roadsides where the travelers, when they travel from one village to one village or one village to city, they have to travel a long route with bullock cart or horse cart like that. There were no motor cart on those days. So they would bring their food on the way. Sometimes they may have to, the food may drain out, no more food to eat. So instead of going to the temple inside the village, on the roadside, the motels were there where they can stop, take rest and eat their food and go. Nobody in the nearby village, they will come to this hotel. This is meant for the only for the travelers. But when the advancement of the Kali, the people who live near that motel, that also not all of them, some rook people, some mischievous people, they what they do, they cover their face and in the after the dusk in the evening, they without showing their face, they will quickly they enter the restaurant and this motel and they will order something and eat. It was considered that big sin because someone from the villager knows that this guy came to motel to eat. It is a big sin. It is considered because everyone was very happy to see eat at their home or their friend's home or their relatives' home. If not, they can go to the temple and eat, not in the motels. But as Srimad Bhagavatam says, Tadascha Anudinam Dharmam Satyam Dharmam Kshama Daya. All the 8 characters are decaying when the Dharma, when the Kali is proceeding. Dharmam goes, Satyam goes, Kshama goes, Ayur, Balam, Smriti, everything goes down to that's the nature of Kali. So then here, these all these three dhyana, sacrifices, yagyas, and the temple worship also became busy as a business place in the age of Kali. So the Lord has descended all his potency into the holy name, so that once we chant the holy name in the age of Kali, we get all the benefits of the previous ages, what they did in dhyana, yagya, and temple worship. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, when the learned sages and brahmanas assembled to chant Vedic mantra, some of them also engage in the arguing about the conclusions of the scriptures. This is the nature of Kali. But it happens there also. In those yugas also, because the brahmanas, they are puffed up their knowledge, they were fighting because they have many conclusions. So each of one of them were thinking that my finding is the highest finding, so that this was going on. Some of the famous sages and the brahmanas were arguing, and some of them were chanting the Vedic mantras. So the entire atmosphere was charged with the transcendental sound vibration. No other material subjects were discussed. They were discussing about the conclusions of them. There were many fights. We know in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Tarka, with Tarka Sastra, even in the childhood only, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was a Vedanti and he was defeating all his masters, like elders, with this proper argument with the so this is how it was going on. Here everyone was fighting. This transcendental sound vibration has been simplified in the transcendental vibration of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the mantra recommended for the age of Kali. That's why it is called Maha Mantra. In this age, no one is expected to be highly educated in the Vedic ways of understanding, because people are very slow, lazy, and unfortunate. Prayana Alpa is a Sabhya. Age is low down and everyone is misguided, everyone is distressed, and the mind is so much agitated, so many problems in the age of Kali. So the mantra is so simplified in the age of Kali for this purpose. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended us the sound vibration of Hare Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, 32. It is also recommended, Yaknyai Sankirtana Prayer Yajantihi Sumedhasaga. In the age of Kali, who are all brilliant, intelligent, they take up this chanting of the holy name as the highest finding conclusion of all Vedic hymns. At the present moment, it is impossible to gather sacrificial necessities because the poverty of the population and their lack of knowledge in the Vedic mantras. So many people who are good in Vedic mantras, who chant the Vedic mantras, they see this all other sacrificial things as, or all other this kind of chanting as very basic. But it is not required. Every single person is qualified to chant the holy name. Even in the Prabhupada, in his purport, he is saying even a dog can participate, even a child can participate. No need of any pre-qualifications for this one. Therefore, for this age, it is recommended that people gather together and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is accompanied by his associates. So, the chanting of the holy name as an individual, he chant, that is japa, and when he comes in congregation with other devotees and chant loudly, the Lord is so pleased, and that is called Sankirtana. Assembling in Sang and do the Kirtana, that is glorifying the Supreme Lord. That is what recommended for the age of Kali. Indirectly, this indicates Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya, who is accompanied by his associates Nityananda, Advaita, and others. That is the process of performing yajna of this age. So in this purport, it's very, very clear. We don't have to think about all other yajnas. What is mentioned in this verse, what kind of yajna is going on in the arena. For us, more relevant is simply think about the holy name of the Lord, which is Maha Mantra, and through only which we can attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Another significant point in this verse is that there were animal for sacrifices. Immediately, animal sacrifices means what we think is it is for my sense gratification. The kill that and I can eat. But it is not that. Prabhupada is saying that these animals were meant for sacrifice does not mean that they were meant to be killed. They were not brought in that. The great sages and realized souls assembled were performing yajnas, and their realization was tested by animals sacrifice, just as in modern science tests are made on animals to determine the effectiveness of particular medicine. So we call guinea pig, no? Even the Laika, a dog was sent first to the space, and then then the human uric herein went. So similarly, the animals were brought to the sacrificial arena for this purpose to test whether this mantra, this yajna is working with this mantra. For that they use animals, but not for their sense gratification. And then it is tested for the human being. The Brahmanas entrusted the performing yajna were realized souls. They are not just coming for taking some money, some dakshina and go. And to test their realization on animals, and where was offered to the fire and rejuvenated. The animals given to the fire for such sacrifice, they immediately elevate from the animal body to the highest human form of body, so that they can start doing their self-realization. That was the test for the Vedic mantra. That is the purpose these animals were brought. Animals gathered were not meant to be killed or eaten. The real purpose of sacrifice were not to replace slaughterhouses, but to test Vedic mantra by giving an animal a new life. When the animals were killed on the Vedic yajnas, they are very happily come because they know, the Atma knows that while I am being given as a sacrifice, I get the highest benediction of getting a human form of life through which we can go higher levels. So animals were used to test power of Vedic mantra, not for meat. This is what this purport says, but in this verse, um, so much of importance were given to chanting of the holy name. Let us see some of the authentications of the holy name which was given in Vedic scriptures. As we all know, the Vedic mantra Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This mantra is prescribed mantra for this age of Kali, and it is mentioned in several Vedic scriptures. We'll try to see as many of them in this given time. In the Kali Santana Upanishads from Krishna Yajurveda. In the Yajurveda, there is a section. It is called Kali Santana Upanishad. This is a part of Upanishad, and it says Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Sodashakam Nam Kali Kalmasanam Nashanam Nata Paratorbaraya Sarva Vedeshu Drishaye. Nada Paratara Ubhaya. There is no other benedictions. The 16 names of Lord Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, destroys all inauspiciousness of the age of Kali. This is the conclusion of all Vedas. This is what Kali Santara Upanishad says that. So this mantra only one is enough to destroy the all inauspiciousness. Then after that, what happens? Kleshagni Shubhadha. When the mantra is chanted, all kleshas are being burnt, and whatever remains is Shubhadha. This is what Rupa Goswami says in the characteristics of pure devotional service. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 2nd verse, 6th canto, 2nd chapter, 14th verse, it says, Sanketyam Parihasyam Va, Stobam Helanam Eva Va, Vaikunta Nama Grahanam, Aseshaga Haram Vidu. One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately free from the reactions of unlimited sins. Even if he chants indirectly, see the highest beneficiation of this kind of holy name. Sanketam Parihasyam. Parihasyam means even for as a sarcastically, if one chants. Everybody is chanting, let me also do it, but I don't have any faith on. Sarcastically, if he chants, or jokingly, or for musical entertainment. So this Mahamantra is very nice. If I put into my guitar or my harmonium or my keyboard, this produces beautiful music. Let me sing. Even in that case, or even neglectfully, this accepted all the learned scholars of the scriptures. Aseshaga Haram Vidu. All are there saying that this is beneficial in every case. If one is doing with Parihasyam, Stobam, Helanam, sarcastically or jokingly or indirectly, in all these cases, if that gives benefit, what will be the benefit if we do it with full of attention and full of faith and full of bliss? What will be the benefit? This is what here Srimad Bhagavatam says. And then Brahmanda Purana, 6th chapter, 59th and 60th verse, it says, Nama Sankirtanam Deva Tarakam Brahma Drishyade Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Nama Sankirtana, the public congregation chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra delivers complete revelation of all spiritual reality. So for spiritual revelation and realization, one need not to go to do all other so many process. It's simply this Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting is enough. This is revealed in Brahmanda Purana, 6th chapter. And then in Chaitanya Lila, Mukti Heduga Taraka Haya, Rama Rama, Krishna Rama, Paragahane, Kare Premadana. The holy name of the Lord Rama certainly gives liberation. The holy name of the Lord Rama certainly gives liberation. But the holy name of Krishna transports one to the other side of the ocean of essence and at last gives one ecstatic love for Krishna. So the Pancham Purushartha, as described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, we all know that Chatur Purushartha is all, that is the one all Vedas explain, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. After reading all the scriptures, Vedas, what we are going to know? The Chatur Purushartha, one has to follow the Dharma, one has to accumulate the wealth, Dharma, Artha, and after performing Dharma, after accumulating wealth, knowledge, one has to indulge in sense gratification, Kama, and after doing all this, slowly one has to endeavor for moksha. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. This is the highest understanding. Moksha is also a very, very menial thing for a devotee. So devotee will not hanker for any of this. He will go for the Pancham Purushartha, that is attaining love of God. Prema Danahina Dharitya. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, this is Daridra Jivana if I am not getting the love of God. That's why the process starts from Adau Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivarti. In this all-time bhakti is not sprouted. Adau Shraddha, what is the Shraddha? This is the process of elevating one from each stage to next stage. Adau Shraddha means in the beginning one should have faith. In the beginning, how one will have faith? We are in the beginning stage, how one will have faith? We will have faith on our acquaintance or little bit of faith on Lord. So with that and little Sukriti, without Sukriti also we cannot enter into this process of bhakti. That is why when we have prasadam, we chant that famous mantra which we all like. Mahaprasade Govinde Namo Brahmana Vaishnave Swalpa Punya Madam Rajan Viswaso Naiva Jayate. What does it mean? Mahaprasada Govinda Nama Brahmana. These four things we will not have faith. Viswaso Naiva Jayate. When we will get faith on this four? Swalpa Punyam Madam Rajan. If we have accumulated at least a bit of punya in our previous life, we will get a chance to have faith on this one. Then, so it is not an easy thing. If we are getting prasadam through someone's mercy, it is not only that, the mercy coming from that, also we have accumulated some piety to get that association of that devotee. That is why we are getting him. So that kind of faith we will get in the beginning, Adho Shraddha. And then immediately what we do, we induct ourselves into the Sadhu Sangha. So we are now into Sadhu Sangha. When we are in Sadhu Sangha, we are looking at what is happening around here. And then let me also put my hand when everybody is chanting or Sankirtan is going on. And let me try to repeat what they are saying. And then let me try to hear, let it go inside. Slowly we are inducting ourselves into Bhajana Kriya. This is Bhajana Kriya. And then finally, we are entering into the fourth phase, that is Anartha Nivarti. Now we know what is good for me. 30% faith and 70% anarthas. When we try to chant, this varies from 1% to 99, 2% to 98%, depends upon one's attraction towards the sense gratification. It varies. No one is spared out of this one. Everyone may think that this is my case, but it's everyone's case. That is the beauty of Lord's Maya. Daivigesha Gunamaya Mama Maya Duratyaya. There is no other way. We cannot go and beg to the Maya, please leave me, please leave me. It is not going to happen. So we have to give Param Drishtani Vartade. Mam eviye prabhatyante mayam etam tarantide. So what does it mean? We have to seriously deal into the business of Anartha Nivarti. And then there will be a Nishta stage where we completely lose the material desires and we have not developed the desire for love for Krishna. So from that stage, we move towards Ruchi Ashakti and then Bhava and Prema. That is the Prema is the highest of all. So here in Chaitanya Charitamrita Lila 3.257, it says, the holy name of the Lord certainly gives liberation, but the holy name of the Lord Rama certainly gives liberation, but the holy name of Krishna transport one to the other side of the nescience, and at the last gives one ecstatic of love. So after the Baba Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, if you are getting, that is only through holy name of the Lord. And then now in Padma Purana, Swarga Kanta, 50th chapter, 6th verse, Harir eva samaradhya sarvadeve sureshwaraha harinama maha mantrair nasyati papa pisajagam. Padma Purana says, all the grievous sins of one who worships of Lord Sri Hari, the Lord of all lords, and chants the holy name, Maha Mantra, are removed. Whatever be the quantity of the sins, but once we start chanting the holy name, all are vanished, removed. That's what Padma Purana says. If one cave, the darkness is prevailing for millions of years, when the light comes, immediately the darkness should go. Darkness cannot argue with the light that I am here for the millions of years. You just came, how can I go? Because there is no such thing called darkness. Only the absence of light is there. Similarly, there is no a thing called ignorance. Only absence of knowledge is there. So when the holy name comes, all the sins will go off. And then in Narada Pancharatra, a part of it is Ananta Samhita. It says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sodasadani Namani Dwadiswam Varnakanihi Kalau Yuge Maha Mantra Sammohita Jivatarante Varjideva Numai Durdaiva Parikalpidam Chando Battam Sudidanta Viruddam Nabhayashide Padam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This 16 name, 32 syllable mantra is the Maha Mantra in the age of Kali, by which all living beings can be delivered. One should never abandon chanting this Mahamantra and take to so-called purificatory process which are practiced by rascals or engaging in the chanting of other metrical composition of the names of Krishna that against the pure conclusions of the scriptures are filled with rasa basa. So we don't have to go behind this one. This is what mentioned in Ananda Samgita. About this divinely spiritual Mahamantra, which delivers one from material existence, the original Guru, Lord Brahma, has said, Kali Sant Tararadi Shrute. From Kali Sant Tararadi means this is only, it is going to take away from this Kali. The Shrutis have declared this mantra to be the best means of deliverance in the age of Kali. Having all heard from this Brahma, the sons and disciples of Brahma, beginning with Narada, all accepted Hare Krishna Mahamantra and having meditated on it, attained perfection, which is mentioned in Ananda Samhita. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita again, Mahamantra is further mentioned. One Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, 9th chapter, 56 verse. Hare Krishna, Kahe Avishrama. This is in, Hare Krishna, Krishnedi Mukhyan, Mahashcharya Namavali, Siddha Mantra, Kripamurti Chaitanya Deva Upagidan, Kababasya Vrindavane Shankrataha. When will my heart become satiated by perfecting the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in Sri Vrindavana Dhamma, which the most merciful Sri Chaitanya Deva personally chanted and distributed to the fallen souls out of compassion. This wonderful Mahamantra is mixed with the mellows of love and is chief of the perfection of all mantras. They are full of spiritual energies and glories. Sri Vrindavana Mahimamrita by Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati, 17th chapter, 89th verse. So, as we mentioned, there are innumerable references were given in all scriptures. We all know that who is this Prabodhananda Saraswati, where in Varanasi, Kashi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated him, a Mayavadi Sanyasi, and he became a pure devotee, and he is telling now, Mahamantra is everything. And Sarvam Bhattacharya, also another Mayavadi Tarka Sastra Vidwan, whom Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated in his Susloka Satakam, is writing that Hare Krishna Ramanama Ghanadana Karinam Sogamoka Lopa Taba Sarva Vigna Nasinim Pada Padma Lupta Bhakta Vriddha Bhakti Dainam Gauramurtim Asu Naumi Nama Sutra Hadarinim. He makes the gift of the song of the names Hare Krishna and Rama and destroys all obstacles such as sorrow, delusion, greed, and suffering. He gives devotional service to the Lord Krishna to the multitude of devotees who are eager for the shelter of his lotus feet. I fall down swiftly to offer my prostrate obeisances to the Lord of his golden form, who holds the string of meditation beads. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says like this. Hare Krishna, will stop here. There are so many references in the Shastras which gives the glories of the holy name. This is what Srila Prabhupada recommends for the age of Kali, for the self-realization. But in the Daksha's sacrificial arena, various Vedic mantras were chanted for the sacrifices, which is not recommended for the age of Kali. Hare Krishna, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Any questions, any comments?
Hare Krishna, the last one, very inspiring.
Hare Krishna, Radhashna Prabhu.
Very inspiring about chanting the holy name, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Very nice instructions about chanting about the holy name of the Lord. So this is the very most wanted information also. Every now and then we need to hear about this to get some clarity and some attachment to the holy name. So thank you so much for sharing, Prabhuji. So
Hare
though it
Krishna.
is mentioned in so many scriptures, but since I am dull-headed, so I cannot focus on this holy name. So I just want your prayers and blessings for me to chant profusely and properly. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
You got the quality of a pure devotee, Mataji. Automatically it will come. Because
No,
this is
no, Prabhuji. Pure devotee is a very big word, Prabhuji. Please don't use that word for me.
Hare Krishna.
Shankar Krishna Prabhu.
Is listening something else or seriously? Hare Krishna, Sugar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
That's right.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions, comments? We'll wind up.
I'm not able to talk because my throat is not allowing me to
I know,
talk.
Prabhu. That is why I said you don't talk, Prabhu. You just
So
hear
I
us.
was hearing from the iPod, and now I connected. But I prayed that I should not be doing like this.
No, Prabhu,
So
take
you
rest,
did
Prabhu.
so nicely. You did. I was listening and relishing. So wonderful. You really gone
Your
from
blessings.
all the corners.
Your blessings, Prabhu.
You send the video because initially I missed half an hour.
Yes,
My
Prabhu.
throat was pain happened.
His throat is infected. He was in hospital, no? With the mother. His mother.
Mother has become okay now. I am infected, but nothing. Doctor said nothing. Just voice rest for 3 days. Voice rest.
Yeah. Please, Prabhu. Don't talk much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Any questions? Chitra Mataji, Seema Gupta Mataji, Sunita Arvind.
Prabhu, you please don't talk, Prabhu. Sweta Mataji, Virendra Prabhu. Any comments or any?
No questions, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Satam. Sorry, Prabhu, I couldn't able to reach home. There was some long meetings, so I gave the class from office only. Hare Krishna.
Everything is for you, Golok only, office or house.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Prabhu. We'll meet tomorrow. Tomorrow is Shama Chaitanya Das Prabhu. I will send him the next verse. I took 5 and 6. Yeah, 7th verse is Vancha Kalpatrupyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Ananda Kodi Vaishnava Vrindaki
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Nice to see Anita Mataji coming from shop. Glad to hear. Otherwise, she is always in there. She has come. Good.
Hare Krishna.